All right, we're live. Oh, God, that thing is so bright. I'm going to go ahead and share it as well. Why not?
Yeah.
Look at that. It's right on top. That's awesome. All right. I'm ready when you are.
Mine doesn't come on. There it is.
Oh, boy. We are live right now, by the way,
You
for
know,
the whole world to hear.
what still has me is the. God dang it, man.
Let's do Hickey.
Well, because
This
I wanted to do it, but it changed who I was. It wants
change
me to
comes from
share it
within.
as. It wants me to share it as Dope and Dharma. I don't want to share it as Dope and Dharma. There we go.
Oh, boy. Well, whenever you're ready, we're all just, waiting around on you. It's your world, man. We're just living in it.
Oh boy, don't want that. Don't want that. All right,
Whenever you're ready. Oh,
I'm
look at that.
done.
He's ready. Okay.
I'm done.
I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna run the intro. Let's do
Right
it.
on.
Shut up and sit down.
Boom.
Exactly. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dope and Dharma. This is the Fridays version of Dope and Dharma, which means we the middle. That means we talk about social issues, we talk about political issues from a middle perspective. We're not Crips, we're not Bloods, we're not moms, we're not dads. Well, we are dads, but you know what we mean.
Yeah. I
And
don't know. I'm a birthing parent.
we're both birthing parents, and we're talking about that today. But this is that time we hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. We just share what we feel, and hopefully you do the same. We need you to be involved. I'm the street certified dope Dr. Louis Delgado here with you. Of course, this is the Dharma guy, Trinity Phillips. What's up, brother?
What up? What up?
And so before we get started in today's show, you want to tell everybody how they can watch us, view us, listen to past shows, watch past shows, all that stuff.
Why, yes, I do. If you're currently watching us, then you've obviously figured it out, and you can go to either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and you can watch us live. Just search up Dope and Dharma. If you only want to listen to us, you can check us out on any of your podcasting platforms, whichever one you so choose. However, if you're looking to watch us live and interact and comment and participate, then yes, it'd have to be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch.
That's right. That's right. And again, this is brought to you by WPSN 99, the Problem Solving Network, and Surf Monkey Media, and good sponsors like Telemed Clinics that you see behind us right here, right now. So anyway, Dharma guy, all kinds of things in the
Yes.
news. We've been talking about some multiple things that people get heated about. You know, one thing I noticed before we get started is, with all these issues, have you noticed that even if you post something that's a non-issue, or not me specifically, and I haven't seen it with you specifically, but I have noticed other people, they posted something kind of like relatively benign, and then it turns into cancer. have you
Yes.
seen that?
And I've seen people actually doing that on, like, I've seen people be sarcastic and put, like, just to prove that people will fight over anything, they'll put a picture of a
Right.
rock and be like, this is a rock. And then, trying to be facetious and saying that people
Like,
argue
that
about
way.
anything. And yeah, no, I've
They
seen
really
it
are. They really
quite
are.
a bit. Yeah. People are really fired up right now, man.
No.
Like, people are just, I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. I don't know if it's one of those situations where we're already angry and looking for things, or if things like the media and stuff are stoking the flames and making us angry. So I'm not really sure which one
Right.
came first.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, some of you out there, you're really, really upset, and so that's why we exist.
Yeah.
We exist, for your voice. Like we said at the top of the show, we're not Crips or Bloods. We don't belong to either gang affiliation. We don't listen to any of the gang leaders, or we listen to both gang leaders, but we don't prescribe to either one of them, and we don't vote specifically just because we're in either of those gangs. We're both registered independent people. We feel
Yep.
like we're in the middle. Unless some of you want to change us from being in the middle to being on a side because you went too far on your personal side, but that's on you. If you go too far on any of these sides, then of course we're going to look like we're on an opposite side. But
Yeah.
we kind of stay true to who we are, and we want you to voice your opinion. We think everybody's voice matters. I mean, right? Am I speaking for both of us on that, Trinity? We really just want all people to be able to share. I mean, it's important to even have the most absurd thought be heard at least, because somebody else has it. It's not, and never just
Right.
one person.
Yeah, I think matters is a very strong word. I think everybody should express themselves.
Okay. Well, I say it because, because you never know. I mean,
Sure.
there's been things that I thought were pretty absurd and I thought would never be taken serious. The first one that always comes to mind is that defund police thing. When I first heard that, I could have swore that was going to be laughed out of everywhere, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. It actually became a thing. So that threw me into shock right there. So I said, you know what? Where there's one person saying it, as absurd as it may sound to me, that's just me. And I'm an accumulation of my experiences and my family, my culture, and my belief system. And so everybody has their own, and it needs to at least be respected. And when I say need to be heard, I think it needs to be heard because just again, because where there's one, there's many. And if there's many, if there's many, then I think we need to know that they're out there and to hear them out, because if someone feels isolated, alone, and unheard, they could do some pretty horrific things, and that's when we get these mass shooters or these people that want to become famous by doing something ridiculous.
Yeah, I think my moment, if you will, was Alex Jones. So Alex Jones, for those of you who don't know, is a dude who does a show called InfoWars. I think they've since been kicked off of most platforms. I don't know.
Mm.
But I never really, watched that dude. I would see clips every now and then, and he seemed like a complete like loony bin kind of guy. Um, Stuff that he said was just so outrageous and so absurd. It's just like, are you serious? Like, he was
Right.
perpetuating like gay frogs or something, and like lizard people, and just stuff that you're just like, okay, like
Right.
is this real? Like, um, and so every time I would hear his clips, that I would always just like, whatever, dude. Like, I just never listened, never paid attention. But turns out he talked about years ago, apparently, this like pedophile island where the rich people would go and molest like younger girls and whatnot, and people laughed at that as well. Fast forward several years, and the whole Jeffrey Epstein came, and it's like, oh well, I don't know what to say. Like, that was so. For me, that's where I at least listen now to
Yeah.
certain
You never
things,
know. You never know.
even though like I might not believe it, but at least I could say I heard it. You know what I mean? Like, if it comes to fruition, I can say, oh, okay, you know what, I heard that before. Like, somebody talked
Right.
about it, but um, yeah, that was my introduction to. Even though it sounds far fetched, it might not be.
Right. Right. Yeah, you never know. And so on with today's show, we got multiple topics we're talking about today. The quick
Yes.
rundown. I know we're going to talk about guns because guns keep coming up, and so
Yeah.
until they're not coming up as often as they are, and until there's not a shooting between one show and another, we'll stop talking about it. But until then, we're going to keep talking about it. Birthing parents. We're going to talk about birthing parents. Yes, I said birthing parents. I didn't say moms. And we'll get into why and how we're talking about it and what we think and what you think. And then inflation. We're going to talk about inflation because why? Because, every time we go to the store, every time we get gas, we're all feeling it. We're all suffering from it. We're going to talk a little bit about it. Now, mind you, neither of us are experts in politics. Neither of us are experts in any of these particular subjects. I treat people with addiction issues and help people with addiction issues, and Trinity helps people get healthy. He is a master trainer and spiritual advisor, and I'm a certified addictions professional. So we don't pretend to be journalists; we're just regular people talking about situations that interest us. So anyway, so which one did you want to talk first?
Well, I mean, we'll just go down the list. Put the first one up there. Gun violence. So, for those of you who have been living under a rock or maybe not in this country, um, gun violence is I feel like it's an issue pretty much everywhere, but
Mm,
varying degrees, if you will.
right.
It was it's pretty front and center here in this country. We just celebrated our Independence Day on the 4th of July, and there was a
Mm,
I hate to say mass shooting, but there was a mass shooting that occurred a young man who we still don't know why or what his reasoning was, what the catalyst was, but he decided that July 4th parade was the perfect opportunity for him to climb the top of a roof and open fire on the crowd. He ended up killing 7, I believe it was, and injuring over 30, I think, last I heard. They caught him the same day, roughly 7-8 hours later, and he's in jail and standing trial at the moment. But that, of course, sparked even more outrage and more gun control and gun violence discussions, to which obviously I think you and I have opinions on. So I figured, what a great topic to discuss. And apparently there was a thwarted one as well, by the way. So this particular gunman found, like, as he was on the run, saw another event happening and thought about shooting that event as well because he had another firearm with him as he was running. But he decided not to because he said he didn't have time to like plan it out, I guess. But there was another one that was thwarted in another state or another city. I don't remember which one it is at the moment. I read a headline somewhere that apparently some people overheard somebody talking about it.
And they, Virginia. It was Virginia.
Yeah, they ended up arresting them and found that they actually had plans to go do a mass shooting, but they thwarted it. So,
right, and first of all, my issue with all these news stories is that they immediately get flagged either as a Crip story or as a blood story. Have you noticed that? I mean, like right off the bat. I mean, it's like the very first moment that any of these things may happen, anything may hit all the news networks. It may.
Right.
But then as soon as one side has a higher raised flag on that particular story, you won't see it on the other news network again, or it's talked about completely. Have you noticed that? Because
this one was really interesting because with this one, and I think this is where you're going with it. So, so for this one, visually, when you look at the guy who did it and you look at his postings and things of that nature, your knee-jerk reaction, if you're playing that game we played as a kid, which one of these doesn't belong, he visually off of first reaction, he looks like he sides with one side extremely heavily. And then there's a couple pictures that looks like he's either siding with the other side or he's making fun of the other side. You can't really tell. And so it seems like both sides could potentially blame the other side, but because they don't know for sure, they're all like real hesitant to point any real fingers. But each media outlet has been purposely only showing those certain photos that would fit their narrative. In other words, you turn on one side and they're showing videos or pictures of him looking a certain kind of way. And then the other network is showing pictures of him looking as if he supports a certain kind of thing. And so it's very interesting. They're all like, they're confused. They don't know what to do with this one because it's not straightforward.
Trinity, why are you speaking in like riddles? Why aren't you just like specifically saying what the hell you're saying?
Oh, okay. Well, he looks like he's your stereotypical liberal who, skinny kid, doesn't look like he's seen by anybody. He looks like he's potentially questioning things about himself. He's got, multicolored hair. He's got, facial tattoos and whatnot. So that right there typically is your uniform for your average really angry liberal that you see on the media. And then he has pictures of him wearing a Trump flag and at a Trump rally. But then he also has a picture of him in a sweatshirt making fun of the Proud Boys, calling them the Sad Boys. So he literally is like both sides could claim him and say that, they're the cause. And so
is anybody claiming him though? I mean,
I don't think so.
Really
I think they're calling a truce. Well, I think they've called a truce at the moment.
You have them.
Well, I think they're all waiting to hear motive and stuff.
Right.
And so I think once motive comes out, the other side's going to pounce, and so, but because of what they've seen, there's no clear cut side. So they're all very hesitant to claim a side until they know more.
Well, let me ask you a question on this, because here's my issue with it. My issue with it is that, I mean, just last week, I went on a little rant because I got upset that there's like 50 plus, Latino immigrants that get left to die in a trailer.
Yeah.
That to me is a mass murder, right? But it gets no coverage because the coverage dictates a narrative of either more border or less border security. So the coverage is only there to either blame the Crips for not having enough border security, or blame
Yeah.
the Bloods for not allowing there to be an open border, right? Or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Well, that
So the
state
point
that
is that
state
we
pissed
can't
me
just
off
talk
too.
about that there's a mass murder. Yeah.
No.
So we don't just look at a mass murder. So I think that, like, with this, here's my issue with this particular thing. First of all, neither side can really grab it other than with gun. Oh, there was a gun involved. Okay, so let's stay talking about gun violence. But here's my issue with it, Trinity. If it's really about violence and death, you have these cities like Chicago with 30 plus deaths on a weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
there's murder all over the place. There's violence all over the place. So I'm a little bit concerned that we look at a specific incident like this, which happened to happen on 4th of July, and we still don't know the reasons why. And I'm really curious. I'm glad he was caught alive, so we can at least get some
They
information.
mentioned something about a song with the number 47 and 7. I don't know.
We shall see. I'll let it all play out, and then we're gonna know. We're all gonna know more soon. But my point is that there's all kinds of other little pockets of our United States that has like some violence going on, and instead of just understanding violence, period, right, being able to share that concern as a people, because I think we all share that concern. Violence, period, is a problem. We all don't like to feel unsafe. None of us like the violence, period. But instead of doing that, we have to, like, wait a minute, what is our camp saying? Oh yeah, we're going to attack the guns. All right, it's about gun violence. No, it is about violence. This is about a kid. This kid clearly, I'm going to call him he's an invisible it, man. I don't know what he is. And I call him an invisible it because I don't know what the hell he is. And I'm not talking gender, people, so don't get mad at me. I'm talking about just period. I think he felt invisible. I think he appears to be someone who's just searching for some sort of identity, unhappy with whatever identity he does have. I don't know. He's definitely not the most normal looking individual, but sometimes we aren't either. I don't care. But that is an action taken by somebody that's in a hell of a lot of pain and wanting to make a big, huge statement. So there's millions of those individuals out there. Right. And there's definitely millions of people out there hurt and injured, but not all the millions go out there and kill. And then there's thousands that may go out there and portray some sort of level of aggression towards others or themselves. And then there's hundreds that do it to this extent, apparently, or at least tens that do it to this extent. So I think we need to drill down the violence part more than the guns part. And I think as soon as we start talking about guns, it stops us from really getting to the root or the healing or the fix, right? I mean, don't you think, or am I off base here? I just think it's hard to get to the fix when we get stuck on a political agenda.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, first off, I wanted to put something out there. You said earlier about the 47 people that died. The other thing that bothered me about some of that stuff, especially in that state, and it's related in a sense because it's the media slant on things. But when the Hispanic woman who won the election down in Texas, she won it in like a traditionally blue district for like a century. She's young, up and comer. She's never voted on anything. Kind of a big moment for a Hispanic woman. And the way the media covered it in certain aspects, and I think it was like the New York Times, I believe. The headline was, right-wing woman, elected. Whereas when AOC does anything, it's like up and comer, like it's very positive. It's very uplifting. It's very like, hey, look at this person doing things. And when this person, and mind you, AOC won in a traditionally blue area. Like it wasn't that hard for her to actually win there. Not that I'm, hey, she won an election. Good for you. But when this other lady did it, which to me is equally, if not more, like impressive, especially
because she was born in another country. She's born in another country, so it's bigger. It's a bigger deal.
And instead of like saying, "Hey, man, like good for her," whatever. Obviously, that area spoke and they believe it. No, it was kind of downgrading. It was just like, "Wow, dude, it was an obvious slant there." And the same thing with the gun violence is what we're experiencing now. Like you said, the slant should be, we got a problem, dude. Like, why do people feel the need to have these outbursts and act out in such a way? Like, what is going on in our society right now that lends itself to such violence, right? Like, what is it that's causing that to happen? Because we've all been angry, we've all been mad. Shoot, we probably all thought about doing certain things, but most of us don't really do that. We don't go that extra mile.
Right.
And so it seems like a lot more people are feeling emboldened these days. Now, I don't
Right.
know if the numbers are actually higher, because when I've actually looked at some statistics, they're a lot smaller than they make you feel, I guess. Like, it feels like it's running rampant, but they're actually still kind of rare. It doesn't feel that way because they're covered at nauseum. But the other thing, so one of the comments that was said, supposedly, the dad said that him and his son, for the kid who just did the shooting on 4th of July, apparently the two of them were talking like a couple days about the shooting that happened. I think it was Denmark. I could be wrong on that one, but it was one of the Scandinavian countries. There was a shooting in a mall. So apparently him and his son were talking about it. And the son was saying that that person was stupid and blah, blah, blah. And he said that he thinks that a lot, like some of these shootings are only happening to bring attention to the gun violence argument. Like the implication, and I could be misreading this, and it's obviously hearsay, that's what the dad said. The implication there is, hey, I really want them to do something about guns and they're not, so I'm going to give them a reason to do it, is what it felt like. And if that is the case, that's pretty crazy, man. That is that's very extreme. But it feels like that's what the media is, that it feels like that's what's being pushed, is the only way to get anything done nowadays or to be heard is to do something extreme. And when we do it as simple as, people who want to get famous on YouTube or whatever, you can't just put a cool video up. You got to do something extreme now. You got to do something crazy. If you want to make a difference, you got to do something crazy. And so it does feel like we're in a weird area right now where even with violence, you can't just get your point across anymore. You got to go crazy. You got to go above and beyond. You can't just yell at somebody. You got to actually now stab them, or you got to shoot them or whatever. And yeah, I think that should be the dialogue, right? Like, what the hell's happening, man? It's like, I don't want to sound like a dinosaur, but in my day, it was basically, look, man, that person might punch you, or they might jump you after school or something. But now it's like, they might shoot you. That's crazy to me.
Well, and I think that by picking it up as a political agenda, when you're not able to look at it like what's really happening, like, because if this kid did do it, for that type of agenda, he's still a messed up young kid. He's still a kid.
You think?
I mean, that doesn't change the emotional or self-identity issues that I'm dealing with in looking at him. Look, I mean, he's clearly dealing with anybody. And look, and I'm going to use you as an example, Trinity.
Oh boy,
you weren't a mentally healthy person to put tattoos on your neck 100%. You were dealing with issues when you chose to do that. Now, whether it's to the extent of harmful to yourself or others, that's irrelevant. What I'm saying is there was a statement within your soul that required to be said, and you wanted it said. You wanted it expressed. And so you found what I think is a healthy way to do it. You put a tattoo on yourself and then you went further with it because it made you feel better about your personal expression of self, how you liked the way it looked, how you liked the whatever vibes and energy were coming at you, that it all fit this image and this feeling that you felt within. But when you take a responsibility, and there's a difference between an arm and a face. An arm and a face, because you've mentioned it many times. You said as soon as you put tattoos on your hands and on your neck, you knew you went that extra distance, right?
Yes.
Right? All right. So this kid did it here, right here under his eye. He put like the 5 strikes on his eye. At first I thought it was a 3 strikes you're out, but then another picture I saw it was 5. It's just my eyes failing me because I'm a 52-year-old man. But he had the 5 strike. Now, what that means, I don't know, but it's an indication that this person has something to say strongly.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not anywhere near saying that tattoos are wrong, but even people that have tattoos understand that the placement of that tattoo is a different commitment level to the use of a tattoo, right? There are those that do it full body, and then there's those that have those little secret little hidden ones. Now, the full body ones may look at the ones that have the few little hidden ones and go, you're not really a tattooed person, but that's okay. We'll let you play along. Just like a Harley person may be all right with you riding your little motorcycle, but that's not a Harley. You know what I'm saying? It's the same level of commitment, right? There's always a group within a group that's the most hardcore of that group.
Sure.
For this particular individual, I don't think it was a gun issue. It's definitely a mental health issue. And here's what I'm
I'd
going to
agree.
use as my example. And this is why we need to further this kind of conversation and discussion. The thing that just happened this morning. We all woke up this morning to the death of the previously prime minister of
The
Japan.
Prime Minister of Japan.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He got shot. Now here you're talking about a place has 6 gun murders in a year. I mean, it's like it has like no gun violence whatsoever.
It's
So there
virtually
we're
impossible
able
to
to
get a gun.
focus. Right. So there we're able to focus on the real issue of what happened rather than focusing on the gun. Does that make sense? In other words, Japan is not going to have to worry about sifting through the politics of the gun part, and they can get right to the other part, which is what country that propels an individual to feel that it's okay to kill such a key figure in their political world, in their world. So they're able to get further along in that discussion. And that's what I'm saying. I would like that we would be able to go further into some of our fabric of problems rather than get stuck on the instrument. And luckily, Japan is not going to have to get stuck on the instrument.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think it sucks that even when I was watching some of the news reports of this, they were so fixated on the type of gun, not just that it was a gun either,
Right.
Because there's a big boogeyman out there, and it's called the AR-15. And everybody feels that if you just got rid of AR-15s, it would solve all the problems. And to me, it's very short-sighted. I think that's part of the issue right now. Is we're so focused on these political wins and these like grandstanding type of things. It doesn't feel to me as if we're really worried about the problem. The problem wasn't an AR-15, and to me, the Japan thing, the Japan thing to me kind of just reiterated what I've been saying all along, and that is, if you take away guns, they'll just find something else. Here's this. So Japan has this insane gun law compared to ours, where it's virtually impossible. Like somebody posted it the other day. Actually, it was weird. Kind of foreshadowing. It's like when all this stuff happened, I saw a couple people posting the Japan gun laws. There's like literally like 10 steps that you have to go through in Japan to get a gun. Are they related? I'll let Alex Jones and the conspiracy theory people talk about that.
Let the lizard people talk about it.
Yeah. But it is kind of interesting though that like last week they were showing all the steps in Japan, and then today we have a Japan shooting.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a lot. There was so many things you had to go through to get a gun in your hands. And this guy didn't do any of that. He made one at home. I didn't see all the reports. My assumption is it's most likely a 3D printer or something. Who knows? But regardless, he found a way, right? Yeah. And that's where I've always come from is if you take away the apparatus, you're not going to take away the decision making. You're just going to make them choose a different apparatus.
Yeah.
Like where there's a will, there's a way. When you're really the example I would use, it's a lighthearted example, but it kind of proves my point. And we've joked about this before because you've been these people. Have you ever seen like smokers when it's time to have a smoke break? Doesn't matter if it's raining outside. Doesn't matter if there's like a no smoking sign. Doesn't matter how expensive they make cigarettes. Doesn't matter how many.
It could be a federal law. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like they will and I'm talking like genuinely lazy people sometimes. Like I've known friends who are lazy people. They don't want to do anything. But when it comes time to have that cigarette, they will jump through any hoop you put in front of them and they will make it happen. They will get their cigarette break. And so human nature, if you really want something that bad enough, you're not going to let little obstacles like a law stand in your way. I mean, for instance, it's illegal to shoot a bunch of people. Like they obviously don't care about that law. So you didn't think they're going to not want to break a law of getting a gun? Like, it's just, so to me, that's kind of the problem, man, is we're not focused on like what's going on, dude. Like when my son, does something or my daughter does something to one another or to whomever, I don't care what tool it was. I don't care even what word they used if they were being mean to each other, right? Like if my son calls my daughter a name, like I don't care what the word was. What I care about is why were you wanting to do that in the first place? Like why are you trying to be mean to your sister? Like let's it's like the symptom versus the sickness, right? Like If you go to the doctor with a
Right.
cough, we're not trying to cure the cough. We're trying to figure out what's causing the cough. Because if you don't, it's like what is it like a water leak? When you put your thumb on one and then another one pops out, and
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
just constantly chasing them.
Yeah. It's just a
It's the
band-aid,
same.
just a band-aid,
Yeah,
man.
it's the same
Yeah.
concept, man. It's not the gun, dude. Like we just literally this morning also. There's I guess a bodega up in New York. A guy was trying to like accost somebody else. I don't know if it was robbery or I don't know if it was like a personal dispute. Either way,
Mhm.
there's a guy that cornered somebody in a bodega and he was like trying to beat him up and he stabbed him 5 times. And there's a whole thing right now as far as if it's defense or not. But the point is, he stabbed him 5 times. There's no gun involved there. Like, so it's just this idea that if you just get rid of guns
Yeah.
or somehow the gun itself is the problem,
Yeah.
I don't think it's helpful. I think it's hurtful. I think that we're going to just get deeper and deeper into this mess until we figure out the real argument, which is what you've said and I've said and many other people have said. Why do you feel it's necessary in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little extreme. So that's that. And yeah, for that bodega guy, that's a Dominican. Hopefully that Dominican gets cleared of all charges if they investigate it and they find him to be innocent. I mean, all I saw was the video, just like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
But I've learned, just like we've all learned, the videos sometimes don't tell an entire story. So I'll let the investigation play out before passing too much judgment on it. But from a first appearance, at least, it appears to look like self-defense. It appears like
Yeah.
that other dude didn't have any right to be behind the counter.
He was hitting him.
And yeah, he was pushing him. And for the bodega guy, dude, thank God you had that knife, because who knows how that could have played out negatively against you. But more importantly, thank God you knew how to use a knife, because that could have easily been taken away from you and used against you. So, man.
You know what? And while we're at that, there is something else that it does on a smaller scale. It does kind of bother me a little bit. And what bothers me about it is it just feels dishonest. And what I mean by that is I think part of having an honest debate or an honest discussion is you have to admit everything, even the things that are contrary to your point, right? Like you have to
Yeah.
acknowledge it. If you're in a debate class with somebody and you're going over debating and they bring up a good point, you can't just like act like it didn't exist, right? Like you have to
Right.
address it. Like it's an actual real point. Um, and so I'll illustrate this with another video that I saw a couple days ago. I don't know how old the video is or anything. I saw it for the first time a few days ago. There were 2 ladies behind a counter in like some sort of an eatery, a restaurant of some sort. And it appeared, based upon the comments and everything else, because I couldn't hear in the video, that I guess a guy was upset that they were taking, excuse me, taking too long for their food or something. And so they're arguing back and forth. And the guy comes around to the back where they're making the food and he's arguing with the lady and he punches her. Like he punches her dead in the face and she gets kind of staggered. And then you can tell by his posture, he's not done. Like he's aggressive and he's walking towards her as she's stumbling away. And the other girl that was with her pulled out a firearm out of her, I'm assuming, pocket and pointed it at the guy. Situation stopped. Like he immediately stopped and went the other way, and that situation calmed down. And I think he was, from the comments I read, I think he was later arrested and everything was taken care of. But had she had not had a firearm, it very clearly looked like that dude wasn't finished. It looked like that
Yeah.
situation was going to continue to escalate. And so my point is, they don't address the millions of lives that are saved every day or every year, I should say,
Yeah.
with guns. Like guns do serve another purpose, right? Like
Yeah.
it's sexy to put in the media and glamorize, oh, another senseless killing. I agree. There's senseless killings and there's way too many of them.
Yeah.
But boy, how many? I myself would have been a victim of a carjacking many, many years ago had I not had a firearm with me. Now, obviously, it was an illegal firearm because I was under 18. That's an example of how even the law didn't keep me from having a firearm on me. But I worked I worked at Finish Line in the mall, but they wanted me to go to another mall to help out with like their numbers, and it wasn't in the greatest area of town. And back in the day, I was like 18 years old. I had a little red sports car with rims and everything. And when I was leaving that the new store, I had to drive through a bad area of town just to get to the place to get home. And while I was in there, somebody stopped at a stoplight. They stopped in front of me and got out of the car, and they were coming to take my car. And if I didn't have a firearm pointed at the guy to make him get back in his car, I don't know what would have happened to me. I mean, at best, I probably would have lost my car. At worst, I could have
Yeah.
lost my life that night. Who knows?
Yeah.
But had I not had something to negate that person's aggression, that situation would have absolutely escalated. So I don't.
Right.
It sucks to me that they don't acknowledge at least, hey, the guns do serve a purpose. They are helping a lot of people. Aside from the people who eat from them, right? Who go out and hunt and shoot their like my brother hunts, and that's how he
Right,
feeds
right,
his
right, right.
family. Aside from those people, or even the competitive people who do sports and stuff, they serve another purpose. Man, self-defense is a very real thing. I have guns in this house. My
Yeah.
wife is not a large woman. I mean, she's like 5'3". She's like 100 and some pounds. Like she's not going to overtake a grown man if he comes in here
Yeah.
and wants to do something. But if my wife goes in the closet and grabs the shotgun, something tells me she's going to win that battle. And so I think that we have to at least address that.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and we have several guns in this house as well, and Dana and I have been in a lot of arguments, and not once have either of us shot each other. So it goes to prove that you could be upset and not use a weapon, and not use a
Yeah.
gun.
What a novel
the other thing-
concept.
yeah, you brought up something that I'm gonna go further with. Speaking about that point you just brought up, I would like to know the real numbers, and I don't know if they exist, and I'm sure maybe they do, if someone's gathering them up. But of all the people that have concealed weapons, how many of the individuals that legally carry concealed weapons that regularly go to a shooting range to keep their guns well-oiled machines, to stay on point with how they use their weapon, that have gone through classes on how to use a weapon, that have been trained on how to use a weapon? How many of those individuals are actually committing some of these senseless acts of gun violence and mass shootings, or even shootings of innocent people, compared to how many people that on an everyday weekend that we hear of all these shootings, like in Chicago or New York or even here in Orlando, the senseless kind of shootings, like the guy that just died the other day right here in Orlando this weekend,
Yeah.
or a couple days ago, actually. They had two cars fighting each other. A passenger in one of the cars ended up getting shot and killed. How many of those guns are actually like legal guns, or guns held by legal concealed weapon holders or legitimate channels? You know what I mean? Because if I would venture to say,
I found it.
and I've been involved in, and all right, good. And I've been involved with some shootings, and some of the people that know me for a long time know this is some of these incidents. And when people really don't know how to use guns and they start running, they shoot everything. They shoot at everybody. The one that I'm thinking about the most, the one that actually was my final event. My boy was shooting even at me, because when he was running away, I was still in that crowd, and so when he was
Right.
running, he was shooting towards me too. And that's the typical uneducated, undisciplined, thuggish kind of gun holder, compared to the masses of legitimate legal gun owners out there, mature gun owners out there. And I think that's the part that unfortunately, whenever you start talking like that, they want to make you some NRA freak, or want to make you some right-wing freak, or
Right.
want to make you some sort of redneck racist freak, rather than, no, I'm nothing. I'm none of those things. I'm just simply a person that I feel better. I feel more protected, just like I lock my door, just like I have an alarm system, just like I have security cameras. I live in a gated community, and I have weapons. Those are all part of things that make me and my wife and our family feel a certain type of way, and that's the way we choose to feel. Go ahead with the numbers that you found.
Yeah, well, I mean, for full disclosure, I too have a concealed permit. I have multiple firearms in the house, and not once have I pulled any of them on anybody. Even there's been some situations where it could have been justified, even with some traffic things, that I still didn't pull one on me.
Like those little kids, those little kids that spit on your car and they get spit on your truck.
Yeah, that one. So I just really quickly just Googled what you were asking. I got this
Okay.
off of the USconcealedcarry.com. I guess it does a whole fact versus fiction thing. I'm not going to read the entire thing to give you all the details. So if anybody looks this up later and wants to yell at me, hey man, I didn't do like a ton of research. I literally just Googled.
Right.
But we're in Florida, so that popped up, and it said the Florida Dade reports show the following: a total of 6 permit holders were convicted of perpetrating crimes with firearms. Just 13 permit holders used their firearms to thwart or attempt to thwart crimes, and there was no known incident of a permit holder intervening in an incompetent or dangerous manner, such as shooting an innocent bystander by mistake. So in the state of Florida, 6 in the entire state have been involved in a crime. 13 of them actually thwarted crimes, and nobody accidentally shot anybody. So that's just in Florida. And then as you scroll down, it shows many more. I guess from the brief looking through it that I got, it does not appear that the people who are law abiding, who have the concealed permit, who are doing their thing, are involved in any shenanigans.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. And you know what I mean? I'm saying that, if you've ever gone to a gun range and looked around and you see some of the individuals that they know how to take they don't walk up into the gun range with it in their hip thing. They have, they know how to bring the weapon in. They're very safe with it. Very careful with it. And again, in a shooting scenario, they seem to be pretty deliberate. First of all, a person that goes to gun ranges, if someone ever aims a gun at you and they're holding it like this, goodbye. But if they're holding it like this, don't worry. They're not going to hit you. Chances they don't know how to hold a gun. They're probably going to miss you, and that's why innocent people get shot, because there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to use a weapon properly, and they just shoot a bunch of innocent people. I think, a matter of fact, I think they shoot more innocent people than the people they're actually aiming for.
I see a lot too is people like Plaxico Burress, who had a concealed permit and shot himself. I see that a lot, where like dudes are like,
that happened.
That
happened.
Yeah, they're not carrying it properly. Like they don't have a holster. Like I have an inside the waistband holster for mine.
Yes.
But they don't carry it properly. They see like they do in the movies where they just shove it in their pants or something, and then they're trying to pull it and they shoot themselves in the leg or something. I see that a lot actually.
Dude, you're gonna shoot your member off. Are you kidding me? I would never, ever, ever stick a gun in my front waistband. Ever. Are you nuts? I do, because I have an inside the waistband holster though. Well, that's different. No, but I'm saying I wouldn't, because I don't. And here's the point. I can't eat Lay's potato chips with Tabasco without getting one drop of Tabasco on me at some point in time. I just can't. I can't. Dude, I struggle with eating a Snickers bar without getting chocolate on me. I swear. So the hell if I'm going to try to stick a gun like they do in the movies. No, you carry it the right way. You put it in the right place. And let me tell you something. Concealed people, you don't see the gun. Anyway, that's enough about guns.
Well, legally they can't. It has to be concealed. So,
well, what I'm saying is they're not flaunting it. They're not out there doing you talking to me? You're talking to me? There's nobody else here, so you must be talking to me. I'm not saying they didn't do that at some point in their life, like early on when they first got it, but listen, that's not who they are. That's not who that group of individuals is. All right. So next topic, Trinity.
Next topic is, let me pull it up here real quick. So I don't even know how to, there's a
hey, this is us. This is us.
Yeah. One of the larger school, what do they call school unions or whatever, teachers unions, I think it is. I kind of half-assed paid attention because it irritated me, but it appears as if they're trying to do some sort of a petition, I guess, to remove the word mother from their dialogue or their lexicon, if you will, and replace it with birthing.
What do you mean remove the word mother?
They don't want to use the word mother anymore.
The word mother.
They don't want to use the word
no more
mother.
Mother's Day. Like we can't have a Mother's Day.
No,
dude. Women need to stand up. Women, wake up. Women, wake up. Women, women are losing every right. And it wasn't the Supreme Court taking your rights away. It's within your own little group that you guys just keep on allowing men to come in and take what a woman is away from you. Take what a birthing parent. Listen, man, I don't want to disrespect anybody. You want to be a birthing parent, be a birthing parent, but that doesn't take away that there's moms as well. That maybe, just maybe both things are true. Maybe we have moms and birthing parents. How about that? Maybe we have moms and a birthing parent. Maybe. Why can't we have both, Trinity? Why do we have to get rid of moms?
I don't know.
What is the sense in that?
This just feels stupid to me. Look, man, this is part of the problem, right? This is the thing. I'm going to quote vaguely here Bill Maher, right? Because I watch his show sometimes. I think he's funny. He has some good people on because he has both sides
Mhm.
on sometimes. But so what did they say? I really love how the accepting Buddhist is from. Yes, man. I try, dude. I'm trying, but they're testing my patience here. So
And
the
for those of you that wait, you got to say that for those people that were they're not watching, they're listening. That was Richard Coleman, one of the Facebook Live viewers and listeners. He put, I really love how the all accepting Buddhist is getting frustrated with the ridiculous cultural shifts we're dealing with. All right, go
yeah.
ahead, Trini.
So
Say what you were going to say.
and you know what? And I apologize for letting that out because I'm actually usually try to stay somewhat reserved, but I'm it's
This ain't
today's
Dharma
one of
time
those days where
today.
it's different. Yeah,
This ain't
exactly.
Dharma time.
So to me, so once again, I'll quote Bill Maher. I watch the show sometimes. I think he's funny. He's got some
Yeah.
good guests. He has both sides on. It's relatively, down the middle for the most part.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Yeah, and he had a couple of his new rules or whatever at the end of it. And one of the things he says is each side has to own their shit, right? Like the right and the left have to own, like, not just the people you agree with, but you got to understand, like, there's other people who are ruining your party. Like, you have to own it. They're part of your group, and you got to own the most extremes. That's part of the deal here.
Yeah.
And so, like, I really think that, do I think the average liberal or average Democrat buys into these kinds of things that we're reading and hearing about? No, I don't. I think the majority of the country is in the middle, the 80%, and then you got 10 on each side.
I believe so, too.
However, it's this stupid kind of stuff that is really ruining it for you, man. Like, it's really causing a divide. And if there's a red wave coming in November, this is the reason why.
Yeah.
Because these like weird, crazy like ideas somehow catch fire and they rise to the top, like the defund police type thing. I don't know, man. But if I was a woman,
how is
I'd
this
be
acceptable
really
to women? How are women okay with this? Dude, I'm not okay with it, and I'm not a woman. Look, at least listen. Here you go, Trini. At least with the abortion issue, we can all say we all have a voice because we're talking about a life and a death, right? We're talking about a life and a death. I know they're trying to make it about the birthing parent, but it's not about the birthing parent. It's about the life and the death of the baby, right? So in this issue, it is strictly about women. It's 100% about women. It has nothing, that has nothing to do with me or you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
This is where you should be going. I have a uterus. I have a uterus. This is where you march for your uterus. This is where you wear your shirt with your vagina on the front and your uterus right above it. This is that moment. Your uterus is at. This is what happened when I go to the store and I try to buy Aunt Jemima. She's not even there. She got canceled. The poor lady lost her job. There's no black faces on any supermarket shelf whatsoever, but Uncle Ben is still there. Even Toucan Sam is still there because he has multicolored rainbow nose. He's allowed to still be there. But all the old white men faces are allowed to still be there. Colonel Sanders is still on a bucket. But if you have a black face, you're not allowed anywhere because apparently that's rude and ruthless. And that's why we have no
ended
Redskins,
racism, though.
and that's why we have no Indians. And I mean, and the Cowboys still exist. Cowboys are still allowed. How is this allowed? Where marginalized groups, truly marginalized groups, are allowing themselves to be canceled? How are you allowing all black faces to be canceled? How are you allowing all women to be canceled? What are you allowing here? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think one of the as a matter of fact, Richard Coleman literally just put what I'm getting ready to mention. Let me put his comment up here. He said, remember when we used to cherish women because of their ability to bear children and not in spite of it?
Right.
Yeah, like I one of the most beautiful things that a woman brings to the plate is her ability to carry and birth a child, right?
Yeah.
Now, one of the arguments I've heard in favor of this mentality change was, to give men paternity leave as well, as opposed to just women maternity. Okay, there's an argument to be had there, right? I don't think this is the way you go about it, but there is an argument to be had if you're a father and you want to take some time off with your newborn child as well. Okay, let's have that discussion. But we can do that without taking away womanhood to me. Like, dude, like, the most beautiful thing on this earth is the ability for a woman to, like, think about it. They give life, dude. They like, a thing comes out of them that's another human being. Like, they're making people, right? Like, and to take that away from women, like I don't understand.
It
I
makes
don't
no
understand
sense.
how women aren't okay or aren't like burning things down right now,
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
They're upset about a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't understand, but this one they should be this one and like taking away the women's sports, right? So like there's women, little girls who work their whole lives to participate in a sport and excel at it, and they're doing well, and their future literally
They have
rides
fought
on it.
for that. They have fought
Yeah,
for
like
sport.
scholarships, potential, future earnings and their livelihood. And then some dude decides he doesn't want to be a dude anymore, maybe starts taking like hormones and he just completely kicks the shit out of all the women and sets like all new records, and we're totally cool with that.
How is that
Like,
okay?
no, like why is that okay? And then in this situation, birthing
Poor women,
no,
man.
it's a mom. My mother is a mother. She's not a birthing parent. She's a mother. That's what that
Right.
is. She has a uterus. She has a vagina. Like she has eggs. She has ovary. Like, well, not anymore. But the point is, like, come on, dude. Like, what? I don't even understand this one, man.
Trinity, you with all your tattoos, can you imagine the I love my birthing parent tattoo instead of I love mom tattoo? All that.
I don't understand, dude.
Dude, the beautiful word mom is. The beautiful word. Look, you even just say the word mom. I mean, what is our kid's first words going to be? Birthing parent. Imagine a little baby, no more mama, dada. It's going to be birthing parent. Birthing parent. Like, I mean, can you imagine a kid referring to you as a birthing parent? Like, instead of calling you mom and dad? Like,
well, what if they had two?
Hey, birthing parent.
What if they had a lesbian? What if it was a lesbian couple? They're two moms. They're not even two moms anymore.
This has got to be a joke, man.
I don't understand.
This can't be real.
I think it is, dude.
This can't be real. This right here is like Trinity said. This is what makes you look foolish. If you are on the side pushing this agenda, and it's like one of no, you know what? Let me back up. This is how it is, Trinity, and I know you've been in this situation. Your group and another group are standing up against each other. You're about to get in a fight. You're a group against that group, and you're kind of sizing up the other group, kind of figuring out who you're going to punch. Blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, one of your friends says something really stupid. You're like, dude, we didn't need that stupid. That makes us sound dorky. I didn't like that comment. We don't. Right. That's not really one of our inner group. We just have him here to help beat you up, and he's not really like one of us. You know, right. We always have that friend that kind of just say, yeah, and they say something really stupid, right? This is that. Hey, Crips, this is that. You guys need to know within your little group, you got someone going, yeah, and we should all be birthing parents, and they're like, what? Wait, no, man. Hey, chill out. That's going a little too far. Both things can be true. We can have birthing parents and we can have moms, but let's not cancel mom. Mom. That is really sad. That is just so stupid to cancel.
But that's how they're losing people.
And moms.
Like, let me talk to Democrats right now, right? Once again, we're we the middle. I'm not Republican or Democrat. Just make sure I put that out there as a disclaimer.
It's like we always have to qualify that.
I know. I lean both sides, right? Like there's things on either side that I agree with, and things on the other side I disagree with, right? Which hence we the middle. And if I look for a candidate, I look for a candidate who the majority of the things that they agree with are on my side, or they don't believe in one of my deal breakers, right? That's kind of how I go about it. I don't care what color you are. I care about what you're doing. So for those of you out there who are on the blue team, this is why you're losing people. Right, like the election coming up looks like it's going to be slanted. Apparently, there was like over 1 million people who converted from blue to red in this last year. So it by all barometers, it looks like you guys are just losing people by the dozen. This is why. If you're sitting around scratching your head trying to figure out how people can be siding with these crazy, money-hungry, greedy, Jesus freak Republicans, if that's what your mentality is, this is why. You're not even reasonable. The things that you're doing, a normal, reasonable person does not agree with you, and you're losing them. Like for me personally, I absolutely sided many a time with like social issues on the left, right? For the Democrats on social issues, I sided a lot with them. But even now, dude, like they take it too far. Even now, I have found myself having to push back and be like, "Oh, I can't sign off on that one now," and they just keep going, and it's like, I can't.
I got an example for you, and we haven't had this discussion, so I'm going to ask you live on the air right now.
Oh boy,
no, because I remember when we first started even talking about politics amongst each other as friends. And I remember both
Right.
of us kind of said the exact same thing, that we're socially conservative. Matter of fact, that's how both of us, I think, have defined ourselves in the past. We're socially liberal and fiscally conservative. Have we not?
Yeah.
Or am
Yeah,
I
I would agree
wrong in
with
that?
that.
Because I do
No,
remember that
I'm socially
concept.
liberal, and
But
yeah,
but I can't say that. I haven't said those. I haven't said that sentence in a good 5, 6, 8 years.
yeah,
I have
same.
not, you, because I can no longer sentence for me,
Yeah.
because what it means today is not the same thing that it used to mean.
No.
The fiscally conservative word is still true. You know, my wife would call that stingy or stubborn, not stingy. She would say that
Cheap,
that I don't know what she. Yeah, she would say
frugal.
that I watch her money. You know, I watch her money. I could, if I even
Yeah.
ask her, where are you going? Why do you always ask where I'm going? Kind of stuff like, yeah, what am I buying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the socially liberal part, I can't say anymore, because I don't know what that means to people anymore. What that meant
Yeah.
to me is no longer what it means. And this is an example of that. That birthing parent to me is like, wait, you took it too far for me. I am okay with, if you're a guy out there and you have chosen to live your life as a female, I'm cool with that. You want to do that?
Yeah.
That's cool. However, that doesn't mean because you have become what you feel is a birthing parent, or what maybe can become one in the future through the future of science, because I think we can get there. But that doesn't mean that moms lose their title because of you. There's
Yeah.
not enough of you. You're not a big enough majority. There's not. It's not like we're having a bunch of birthing parents fall from the sky and all of a sudden women are the minority. Therefore, that's why it no longer qualifies. You know what I
You
mean?
just hit it on the head.
I think both things can be true.
Yeah, you just
Go ahead.
to me, I think you just hit it on the head. And I'm going to say something now. I'm going to do my best to keep within the lines here, not be controversial, I guess, because I'm trying to be mindful.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think you just hit it on the head, right? The overarching thing here that seems to be at play that nobody is allowed to even mention or talk about is, I think a lot of the pushback that side is getting at the moment is that they're trying their best to normalize things that aren't viewed as normal. And when I mean, like, we have majorities, like that's a thing, right? Like we live in a democracy where majority rules. If a lot of people all feel one way and a very small amount of people feel a different way, well, the people who feel this way, who are the larger group, they win. That's literally the essence of democracy. And so they're trying to normalize things like birthing parent or defund the police, or even certain topics that revolve in the world of gay and homosexuality, LGBT, whatever the hell it is. Certain issues that are in that world are normal to them, and so they're trying to make everybody kind of agree and pretend that it's normal for all of us, and it's just not.
Yeah.
Like, it might be normal in your circle, but it's not normal for the world. And I have family in the Midwest. I have and so they have a different viewpoint. They don't live in
Right.
the cities where they see all the things that I grew up with and whatnot. And so to tell those
Right.
people that there's something wrong with them because this is normal, it's just not passing the smell test, dude. When they look around in their area, like, no, that's not
No.
normal. When I look around, I don't see that every day. Like, I said this to you the other day, and if it's just a fact, right? Like,
Right.
I'm going to observe a factual thing. I
Right.
am now in my 40s. I have lived in a larger metropolitan area for the majority of my life, right? I've been in Florida and Orlando more specifically. Um, and I've never avoided or sought out any particular group of people. I just live my life. I've gone to normal places, done my own thing, gone shopping, whatever. And I can't recall ever seeing two guys kiss, like just making out or whatever. I don't recall. Maybe I've seen one or two, if that. It's just not a normal thing in my life. It's just not a normal occurrence. I don't see it. Right.
That
I don't
trips me
actively
out
seek
that
it
you
out.
haven't seen it, though.
Yeah.
That does trip me out, but I get it.
I haven't avoided it. I haven't sought it out. I just do when I go to Publix,
Yeah.
to buy a
Yeah.
sub, I just don't see it. It just doesn't happen.
Well, you live in
Um,
you've always lived in a majority, like minority community, right? You live in like in a Boricua community
um,
now, right? You live in a Puerto Rican community now,
yeah,
really,
it's
right?
mostly Hispanic around here, but there's I think it's well in my neighborhood itself. But when I go outside of my neighborhood to go to
Oh,
get
I see what you're
groceries or
saying. I see
whatever,
what you're
it's
saying.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's more diverse,
Yeah.
if you will. But my point in all that was, It's not a normal thing for me to look over and see two dudes kissing, right? Does it bother me? No, I really couldn't
No.
care any less than I currently do. My point is,
No.
it's not a normal thing. In 40 some years, I've never seen that. And so to turn on the TV and every channel or every show I see, there's multiple. I've seen it more on one episode of a show than I've seen in my entire life,
Yeah,
right? And for the
that's true.
majority of you who are really really into that, more power to you. I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
However, where the problem starts to
Mm.
come in is when you say to that person who lives in a different area, who doesn't see that stuff, who doesn't necessarily disagree with it, they don't think it's
Yeah.
normal. When you tell that person that they're wrong because it is normal and they should accept it, that's where you're butting up the heads because they're going to push back, dude. Like if I went to a person and told them that it's normal to, you know, I don't know, pee in a cup and drink it, that's normal. And if I come to you and I tell you that and I say there's something wrong with you because you don't do that, I'm pretty sure you're going to look at me like I'm insane, and
Yeah.
you're like, this guy's stupid. Well, it's the same concept. You're telling
Right.
these people to do something that they don't think is normal. They don't
Right.
necessarily disagree with. Like if you went and did it, they wouldn't care. But there's a
Right.
difference between not caring and being told that I'm wrong because I don't think it's normal. Like my
Right.
son does stuff. I love my kid to death. He just got on all fours the other day and smelled my dog's butt because he said that's how they greet each other. That's not normal, right? That's not normal, which is why you're laughing at it because it's funny.
Dude, he
My
does
point
some
is,
crazy shit,
yeah, he
man.
does some really weird things. But that's the point, right? Like it's not normal to do that, but it's funny and it's whatever. I'm not gonna like disown my son, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna pretend like that's a normal thing. Like we all agree that that's abnormal. And so,
I hope
we're
so.
talking yeah, we're talking about a subset of the population here who's not the majority. And so like it's okay that it's not the majority. Like let's not pretend that it is normal. Like I think that's where we're running into the problems is we're trying to force people to think things are normal when they're not.
Right.
And there's a
And it's the
difference.
what
There's
kind of
acceptance and then there's normalizing.
Right.
Acceptance does not mean you have to normalize it. I accepted the fact that my son got on fours and smelled my dog's butt. I accepted that. It is what it is, but it's not normal. Like to me, I think in they're striving for acceptance. They've
Right.
tried to normalize things that aren't normal and are
Right.
what they don't realize is you're belittling the people's viewpoints that don't agree with you. And that's not how you get acceptance. You don't get acceptance by belittling and bullying.
You know, and I gotta, I mean, there's people losing their jobs for not using birthing parents as a norm. You know, not able to say the word woman anymore. What was that USA Today dude,
Yeah,
editor or
something like
whatever
that.
that they got fired? I mean, it's just there's just ridiculous stuff going on with this. And this is a union. This is a teachers union. By the way, this is a teachers union. Let's not forget who just did
Yeah.
this or who is doing this. These are teachers. Look,
Yeah.
I didn't send my kids to school for you to change science, man. Science is science. And I always used to say that the cool thing about science is that when there's advances in science, it may change or modify, but at least science is 1 + 1 is 2, right? Well, you're trying to change that. You're being like a physics person. You know how they look at a solid and they don't see solid.
Yeah.
They see, well, there's a lot of space in between these little solid molecules. But the reason they don't teach that to kids is because that can get really crazy. That's a little bit too deep. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just regular 1 + 1 is 2. Don't get too crazy. But now we're changing that. We're not just doing math and stuff. Now we want to get into social issues and we want to get
Yep.
into these social platforms. And that's what this is, because this is not a scientific thing. Because if it's a scientific thing, then both things have to be able to be true. Give me the numbers. Give me the numbers of how many men got pregnant. That because they were on the bottom, they ended up pregnant. I want you to show me the numbers where because you were accidentally in a different position, you were in the oh crap, I'm the one that got pregnant position. What sexual position is that? That's the one I want to know, because I want to teach kids to be very careful that you might accidentally be in the wrong sexual position because you might actually be the one that gets pregnant. Or
Yeah.
did we scientifically intervene to make something that was not done by nature equals natural, was not done by nature, that we scientifically got in there to mess with it so that it could become a new truth? Well, if you scientifically got in the way or emotionally got in the way for something to become truth, then it wasn't a truth to begin with. It was something that you chose to be your truth, and that's cool. You've chosen it to be your truth. Don't make that our truth. That's your truth, and therefore both things have to be able to be okay. You can be a birthing parent. I completely understand and accept that as a possibility.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't make my wife not a mom. That doesn't make her a mother, and that doesn't make my mother and a mom. That doesn't
Agreed.
change that fact. And I think that's where it goes too far. When you start getting rid of words and making the word a problem, like now if you so this becomes like if you say the word mother, then somehow you're homophobic or you're anti. No, you're not.
Yeah.
If you say Happy Mother's, so now we're gonna boycott Mother's Day and be like that's a homophobia thing. Mother's Day is for people that are homophobic. Those damn rednecks, like my American flag. And somebody said the other day on television that people like me, that I have an American flag on my front deck,
you're
and
racist.
I have one on my back deck. Then I'm a racist.
Yes.
White. Would they say some sort of like political? I'm not. What? Because I have an American flag on my deck, that makes me a right-wing racist. Are you out of your freaking mind? Stop it. Just stop it. You're being ridiculous. And this is why we get blue waves and red waves. Blue waves and red waves.
Yeah.
This is how it... Look, first of all, Trinity, and I don't know if you even know how this... I still don't even know how it happened where the Democratic Party used to be what was considered all the racist, and somehow it got flipped the script, and now they say all the Republican Party is a racist, because it used to be the opposite around, right? Wasn't it the Republican
in the
Party
very,
freed
very
the
beginning,
slaves?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it flipped, but I feel like flips are coming again. Whatever flip happened then, and I think it's happening again. There's something happening politically right now that's making everybody crazy and is making everybody seem like polar opposite idiots.
We need a third party, man. We need an adult party.
Well, we need an adult party. Yeah, we need an adult in the room for sure, man. We need the umpires. This Crips and Bloods things is going way too far. This gang warfare, is just so bad that we need a Jim Brown to just like get in the middle and says, "Look, both y'all punks, shut up."
Right.
I like the way Jim Brown would talk to gangbangers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the way Jim Brown would confront both gangbangers, man. But anyway, this is absurd. And look, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not gonna get rid of Mother's Day. And I know they're gonna look. You can make your happy birthing parent cards you want, and I'm sure that one of your politicians is gonna make a birthing parent day, because we already have Father's Day and Mother's Day. But if you get rid of it, like you got rid of Columbus Day, like you got rid. I mean, you it's just, can't we just
exactly.
Can't we just stop getting rid of stuff? You can include. Inclusion does not mean exclusion. Inclusive is inclusive.
Summed it up.
It doesn't mean
summed it up.
exclude.
Right there with that's it. That's you just something was like, come on, man. Really? Like,
that's the thing. God. I mean, there's bigger problems, man. Like our kids are like not educated well. This is not what you teachers, this is not what you need to be focused on. Just not too long ago, you pled to us like, and Trinity, here's another reason why me and teachers have always had issues, man. And I got teachers in my family, and I'm sorry, Rosie, this is not against you. I'm sorry at the Amy, this is not against you, but damn it, man, this is why me and teachers have always had issues, because you come up with the most ridiculous crap, and then you want us to just sit and take it, put the dunce cap on, sit in the corner. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not standing for this. Don't teach my kid that moms don't exist. That mothers don't exist.
No, dude, COVID opened up a lot of people's eyes, man. At least for me, it did. Because
they're day drinking too much. Our teachers are day drinking, and they're coming up with stupid shit to change. Well, stop your day drinking, teachers. Get back to work.
My high schooler, who's now out of the house, but when she was in high school, it was like it was a couple years ago, so it was like sophomore year, I think it was. And during COVID, I heard like some like ridiculous rhetoric. Like the things that you would find on like YouTube, people ranting and raving and stuff.
Right.
And I heard, I was like, what the hell? So I just stopped for a second and I watched the class, and it was her teacher. It was her teacher going off on like also. I'm like, wait a minute, what class is this? She said U.S. history. I said, well, why is he talking about a speech that happened yesterday? Like, I don't understand. And I just listened to it, and it was like it was all talking points, and it was all rhetoric. Yeah, and I was like, hold up, man. And so that was the one and only time I actually had to email the principal and said, look, dude, I'm all for all sorts of different things, but there's a right way and a wrong way to go about this, and this person's going about it the wrong way. They agreed with me, and they reprimanded the teacher and stuff. I don't know if it stopped, but like for me, that was just like, what is going on here, man? Like, I agree. The teachers are they're a problem. because our kids.
Yeah.
On a side note, so I've been around youth quite a bit, both between my kids and just so I get into conversations, man, a lot with youth. I talk to them a lot, and I listen to their perspectives, and I try to ask them questions of varying different ages,
Right.
and they're in trouble, man. The majority of them are in trouble. There's a lot of
Right.
stuff like just basics of life that they're not getting, and so I do believe. I hope this is a catalyst for change. I hope that
Yeah.
they're poking the hornet's nest right now, and it's going to backfire on them because I
Right.
really
Right.
do think that our education system is atrocious right now, and
100%.
because we're focused on stupid things like calling a mom or birthing parent as opposed to like reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Right. Which is why, Trinity, which is why that in Arizona now, what they passed today or what just got passed? I don't know if it was today. I just
I don't
saw
know.
it today. The thing about the I think they get like a $7,000 voucher to go to whatever school they want to if they choose to go do that. And
Yeah,
the teachers
I know
want
they
to fight
tried
it.
something like that in like DC or Virginia or
Oh
something.
hell yeah! Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Screw the public
School
schools.
choice.
Look, how dare you, public school system, try to get up there and say, "Well, we're monitored, and
No, they're
our
not.
our education is going to get poorer if you allow people to go to private schools because they're not monitored." Wait a minute. I don't know, Trinity. Answer this. Have you ever met someone that went to a private school that was less educated than a public school person? Ever?
Well, once.
Ever?
Once, and that's because they went to a Catholic one, and all they knew was Jesus stuff. They didn't know like
Hey,
actual
hey, hey,
things.
hey! Watch your tongue, there, Mister. I went
Just
to
saying.
Catholic school for 6 weeks, and they were very good at educating.
Just
Me
saying.
and them just didn't get along.
It's anecdotal, but you asked me, and yeah, I've known
Oh,
one person who went to. It was like a Bible school, and all they really knew was Bible stuff. They didn't know
Well, I
like
could-
actual like
I
stuff.
I could tell you that that's the Catholic schools are very, very good schools, man. Notre Dame, bro, you're a Notre Dame fan. What's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
I
So-
didn't say
so-
all of them. You asked me if I
so-
met somebody. Yes, I knew one
yeah.
person.
So all right, well, that's just an idiot though. But so what I'm saying is that there's just not these people, man. Private schools are typically much better educated. It just is.
You know,
You know what I
like,
mean? Than public
I
schools.
got-
Public schools are come on, man.
so when I
This
so
is
when-
ridiculous. I wish my kids would have got a voucher.
well,
take
that's
that.
so for
How
me.
is that? How is that a Crips blood issue? By the way, they get a voucher to be
I
able to
don't
go to
know.
whatever school you want, to be able to go to private. How is getting a voucher money? How is the government giving you money to go to private school? How is that not a good social issue?
Yeah,
How
who knows?
is that a Republican deal? How
Well,
is that-
here's my
what?
problem with the school stuff, right? So when I found out I was having little ones and I was gonna have to be responsible and put them in school, things of that nature, I did what most I think good parents do is I started looking into the education. I started looking at like where am I going to send them? What are my options? Things of that nature. And I looked into public school, I looked into private school, and I looked into homeschooling. Those are the three things I looked into. First thing I noticed was homeschooling is way different than it was when I was a kid. They have like curriculums, they have
It's
like
tough.
different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that it's actually they've grown by leaps and bounds in the homeschooling
Yes.
arena. So if you have the fortitude to sit there and do it, or you have the patience to do it, it's actually a pretty decent option, and you get to
Right.
kind of control the curriculum there. I don't have the patience for that, and it wasn't right fit for our house. So my two options then were limited to either private or public. I toured a couple private schools, and man, like, do you remember the show way back in the day, Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous, where you would watch Robin Leach and go through these like this lavish lifestyle, and you're like, oh my god, dude, this looks amazing. I would love to live this way. That's how I felt when I toured a couple of the private schools. They were talking to me. That's how I first learned about Montessori. Right, I heard of Montessori as a learning style, and it was just, oh my god,
Yeah,
the way they
yeah.
explained it, I was like, holy crap, dude, this sounds amazing. Like, yeah. And then I got
Yep.
the price tag. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I can't do that. And so then I put them in public school, and then talking to the teachers at the public school, vastly different. Like, oh my god, it wasn't even remotely close to the vibe that I got from each place.
No. No.
And so to me, it's disappointing as a taxpayer to think, well, like in theory, if Montessori
Yeah.
really is that great and that good, why are we not putting it in public school? Like, why are they so vastly different? Like, why aren't they learning from one another? Why aren't they incorporating different things? Like, do I think the private school will always be a little bit better? Maybe, because you're paying for that. And so I understand how it might have a little bit more of a leg up as far as maybe amenities or whatever, or they can make decisions quicker than maybe a public school, right? Because there's no private. I get that. but they shouldn't be vastly different. They shouldn't be like completely different leagues, man. Like that's a problem to me. And so for me, that was my introduction of
Brother,
like, this sucks.
Look, man, as a child of government, you know, my mother retired Department of Defense. My dad retired Command Sergeant Major. So we obviously are a family of government. So I've used government run things all my life. That includes hospitals. Let me tell you something. The day I started going to private hospitals for my care, private doctors for my care, rather than military ones, I had no idea how friendly and kind and different the hospital system was on the outside. I remember as a child of government, we used to go, and you would just barely be coughing because you'd always had to go to the doctor, right? You just go to the doctor, and you would leave with a bag of pills, man. They'd give you Tylenol, they give you everything, man. You get everything. But then the finances changed, and Richard Coleman's commenting on finance. It's all about finances. All of a sudden it changed, and all of a sudden that great health care that I got, meaning I just got everything, right? You can get free braces, you get free everything. All of a sudden changed, and it changed dramatically. And when it changed dramatically, let me tell you something. You couldn't get nothing. Even to this day, our poor military guys, their health insurance compared to private insurance. Oh my God, I feel for you. These families that are existing the way our family existed, they don't get the same benefits that my family got. They don't get the same health care that my family had. They don't get any of the same stuff that my family had because of the budgets and the way that has worked out. Let me tell you something. It's horrible. If you can go to a private hospital over a public hospital, which would you choose? If you can go to private school rather than public school, which would you choose? If you can have a private driver come pick you up and drive you, or you want to take a public transportation, which would you choose? You're going to choose public transportation over a private driver? Really? Don't lie. You know you're not going to do that. You know, would you choose a private airplane or would you choose a public airplane? Seriously, which would you choose? You know what you would choose. So why wouldn't you? So now, to Richard's point, saying that it's about the money, here, I'll put it up just if you want to read the whole thing. But, so, the way we do our tax system is about the neighborhood that we're in. And I get that. Well, you could change that rule, though. It can be evenly divided. That could be, you can evenly divide so every school gets the exact same amount of money no matter what, and it's based on performance rather than anything. You could change those kinds of rules. I still want the ability to put my kids anywhere in school that I choose to. Anyway, I that's enough about that thing. Let's go to inflation, man. What do you think?
Yep. The last topic is just inflation. It sucks. It's brutal, dude. As somebody who does grocery shopping and who obviously has a ridiculously thirsty truck out in the driveway at the moment, I'm ready for a reprieve, brother. Like something really, man. If I go to the grocery store and I'm trying to buy food, first of all, if I can find it, right? Because there's like nothing on the shelves right now. If I find it, dude, it's like double what it used to be. I used to get a whole big pack of like chicken because I would like meal prep and I would make chicken for the week. I would get a whole pack of chicken for like $10. And now that same thing is like $20-$30. It's insane. And it's affecting the little guys. It's not affecting the rich people. It's affecting the common everyday people. We're the ones struggling. We're the ones like trying to figure out how to put food on the table, gas in the tank and still keep lights on, man. Like something's got to give, dude. And I'm not trying to blame any political party, but if you're on the blue side, it's not looking good for you right now. Like you can, and if it doesn't have anything to do with your way of doing things, you're doing a really shitty job of getting that message out there. Because right now it looks like it's you're to blame. Like you guys took over and everything went to shit. And now you're going to argue to me that it's this. Well, you're not doing a good job of getting that out there because right now it looks like it's you. And if it isn't you, then you need to get the message out. If it is you, fucking fix it, dude.
Yeah. The sad thing is that you see things like unemployment rates and jobs reports and they keep saying it's positive. I'm saying, what world do you live in though? Because when I go out there, I'm not walking around going, well, at least the jobs report is positive, and at least the unemployment is down. I don't give a damn, because everywhere I go, they say they're looking for employees and can't find them. Everywhere I go, it says they're lacking employees. Every employer has to pay more for their employees just to have them. Every product that they purchase costs them more. Therefore, they pass the cost on to the end customer, which is us. Even my landscaper went up 20%, and he said simply he wants to keep his employees and the cost of fuel for all the equipment. So even that went up 20%. So if I'm paying more for my chicken wings, which are never under $1 per chicken wing anymore, and they're a hell of a lot smaller. What happened to all that steroid-infested chicken?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist anymore, apparently. They're all
Don't
like
get me started on health
healthy little
insurance.
chickens that got the little tiny itty-bitty. Dude, I haven't had a chicken wing for a long time because I refuse to spend $2 per chicken wing. It's ridiculous. So if everywhere I go has increased their rates by 20, 30 to 40%, including the fuel.
Wow.
Right.
Did you see Leo's comment?
Then, what happened? Go ahead,
Leo, he said, I've saved up for our trip to Florida next week. Used to cost $400 round trip. This year it will cost close to $1,000. Wow. That's
not including
dude.
the food costs that are now here, man. Every restaurant you're going to go to, Leo, that you're here has increased. They've had to increase their rates. Why? Because they had to pay their employees more. Because everybody says you need to have fair wages. Yeah, you're right. You do need to have fair wages. But if I, as a business owner, want to pay more to people, but then all the risk that I took is now gone because now my product costs more to put it on there, so I have to pass it on to the customer. You're going to get mad at my high prices as well, but I need to raise the prices. So you gave more wages, but prices went up, so the cost of living went up more too. So you can't raise the wages high enough to make it balance. It just can't work. And I don't know economics well enough. This is so out of my league. It's ridiculous. We require some really true economics majors to come into this situation and fix it. But you do not fix inflation with morals. You do not fix inflation with social justice issues. This is not how you fix inflation. This is why probably my entire life I used to say I'm socially liberal and I'm fiscally conservative, because even at my most liberal state of mind don't trust a bunch of liberal people with money. That's because they'll give it away. Give it away now. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. Everybody's liberal until they got money. Look, even seriously, because you could become a thug. Look at go to the biggest thug, go to the most evil thug in your neighborhood. With the rims, the stereo system, and all that. He ain't giving away that money. That's my money.
No.
That's my cheddar, right? That's
Yeah.
He's not giving it away to you. You know, he might give you a couple dollars if you go to the store for him. I give you, like, I used to drop some money. I used to get free cocaine. Look, you clean my house. There's some lines for you if you clean my house. I used to do that stuff. You can give away stuff if the person's going to do something for you. You know, my mom always joked. All my friends always clean my pool. Yeah, man, because I had something I can give them. You clean the pool, and not me. You want to use a pool, and you got to clean it. You know, those who have can dictate a little bit like that, right? However, at the end of the day, we need somebody very, very dorky, very nerdy. We need those guys. I'm gonna use my reading glasses for this example because I feel different when I put these on. You need that person that's looking at that. This is the person you need. Mr. President, this is not going to work. Nope, we need to do this.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, but that's the person we need. We don't need you getting up there and going like, birthing parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I don't care.
They're going to be called poor parents.
Right now. I don't care about birthing parents right now. I cannot stand putting gas in my vehicle anymore.
Oh, dude, you're telling me, man.
Look, I was okay when you guys, because I had already quit smoking cigarettes. When you guys went crazy with the cigarette taxes and stuff, and like you started paying $5 for packs of cigarettes. But you will see somebody stuck on the side of the road with no gas in their car, but they're smoking a cigarette. They will still spend money on smoking that cigarette over putting money in that damn gas can. It's just horrible, man.
Yeah.
I just don't resolve this, man. Inflation is what it is, and how you can get up there and brag about jobs reports and first of all, you're comparing your unemployment. Like, we had COVID, bro. You can't get rid of everybody's job, then give it all back and go, look how many jobs we created. No, you didn't create anything. You just let us back out. We were all sent to our rooms, and then we got back out. That's it. First of all, we Americans are creating our own jobs. Government, you ain't creating no jobs for us. It's us, independent business owners and entrepreneurs and risk takers that create the jobs in America. Give us credit, but give us a break, man. You got to give us a little bit of break, and you're not giving it to us. I don't know where you're sending our money and what you're doing with our money. I'm not going to get into the politics of it. You're sending oil over here, and you're sending food over here. You're sending vaccines over here. You know what? Send it to me. Send me some money because you haven't sent me jack. Not even during COVID.
Yeah, but what do we have to do is so as a government, right? What do we have to do differently to get the brilliant minds, right? As an example, just as an example, right? I go, you driving down the street and you see McDonald's, right? And McDonald's is, they've been around for forever and they're selling food, and there's a line of people out the door, and it's going to take them forever to get there. And then when you get there, they're all mean and rude or whatever. Not all of them, but you get the point I'm making. Then you go to Chick-fil-A, and I've never seen Chick-fil-A not completely busy, like wrapped around. I've never not seen that. And I don't care what day I go, other than Sundays. I don't care what day I go, what time of day, it's always completely packed. But I know that if I go there, I'm in and out in a couple minutes. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but they figured out how to get me in and out and gone and fed and
with
happy
a smile
within with a few minutes, right? And so there's such a stark contrast between the two and how they work and run, right? So the next level of that, when you look at the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musks of the world, when you look at the product that they put out, they're just better. Like, that's why they're billionaires, because it's just better. Even if you hate them, you still got to use their stuff because it's just better, right? You can hate Jeff Bezos. You're still going to order Amazon because it's just better. It's better than going down and sifting through all that crap at Walmart.
It's just easier.
Whatever it is.
It's easier.
So my
now
thing
you don't
is,
have to pay gas.
Yeah. So the thing with our government is we spend so much money, but when you look into how it's spent and how they go about it, it's like giving your drunken cousin, let them take over the finances for the house. Like, no, it's so bad. So it's like, we have the money, it's just spent so poorly. So my question is, what the hell do we have to do to change to get the people who are innovating private industry to get them to come to the government industry? Like, how does that even work? Because it's not even close, dude.
Right. You can't. And you can't, because we're a nation of tearing people down when it comes to our social aspect of our country. We do not like winners, and we do not like rich people. This country attacks rich people. It attacks innovators. It attacks people who are fiscally conservative, do well with their money, know how to do things. We just, as soon as they get rich, it's like, if they're not donating enough out, if they're not giving enough to something that you believe in, you start tearing them down. If they don't believe in something that you believe in, you start tearing them down. We feel like they're out of touch. And what we don't give enough emphasis to is most people with money actually didn't start with money. That's an impossibility, by the way. Most people with money did not start with money. And by the way, I don't care how much money you're given. If you don't learn how to keep it or how to multiply it, you will lose it. It goes away. Everyone knows, well, not everyone knows, but at least Trinity and I do know people that had millions, or at least with the millions. I think you know exactly who I'm talking about. And it went down to zero, but he made it again. He's making it again now. The point is that if you know how to make money, you know how to make money. That's just the fact of it. And let me tell you something. When you are taught to receive rather than to produce, you can't teach how to produce. Sorry, you can't teach how to produce if you've never produced, if you've only received. So you have to teach them very young how to produce, how to work, how to respect, how to multiply, how to produce, not just how to give to others, how to make so that you can give to others. Because when you make, you can give. You can't give just to give. We'd all like to give, but I got to make it to give it. You understand? I can't, if I don't have it, I can't give it. And so we're losing that. I agree with a lot of things that we do for people that don't have, can't have, that need assistance. I am fine and okay with that. That's why we're in the middle, because we're okay with that. However, I don't like all this attack towards the rich of America as if there's some evil empire that just wants to destroy Mother Earth, and we're having a climate crisis and we can't destroy Mother Earth. No, listen. We're going to have a climate crisis because of the shit you like. You like it. You like your cell phone. You like your computer. You like your Wi-Fi. You like your roads. You like your vehicle. everything you like pollutes this earth. Everything.
Much.
And those of you that only use things that don't pollute this earth, you stink because that deodorant doesn't work. Stop it. It doesn't work. You need aluminum, apparently. This is the facts of America. These are the facts of the world, man. So both things have to be true. Again, Trinity, to use a Dharma Time expression, we say that more on Dharma Time than this show, but we have to use it more on this show. Both things have to be true.
Yep.
Yes, we have to be earthly responsible, but we have to take care of us first. When I'm in an airplane, they tell me, Louis, if we lose cabin pressure, this thing's going to pop out of the sky. This bucket of yellow is going to pop out of the sky. A little bag's going to be attached to it. You put it on first. Screw your wife and kids. Let them die. You put it on you first, Louis. You got to be selfish. They can die, but you have to take care of you first. They tell us that on the plane. That's the way I hear it. So I know
They don't quite put it that way, but I hear you.
Whatever. That's the way I hear it, Trinity. It's my truth and my reality. I got to put it on me first, and then I can help you live. But if I die, I can't help you live. That's my point. I have to be able to be alive to help you live. Therefore, we have to be able to make money to help. So if we want to give the world money, and we want to give the world oil and vaccines and financial assistance, then we have to make it first. We have to be prosperous first. Our people have to be fed first. Our people have to be, because by doing that, then we're more able to give. You can't just go around the world, Mr. Presidente, and feel good for yourself because I'm giving. Look how good I am. I'm giving. You're giving our shit away. We want to feel good by giving too. I want to feel good by giving too. You help us grow, and then we'll be right behind you and go, hell yeah, Mr. Presidente, let's give. Let's give. I'm all for that, man. Because there's countries that have been poor for generations through the Crips being empowered, through the Bloods being empowered, through the Crips being empowered, through the Bloods being empowered, through the Crips being empowered, through the Bloods being empowered. They look, Africa's still Africa. Haiti's still Haiti. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, you're right.
I mean, how many generations has Haiti been Haiti? How many generations?
Long time.
How many generations has Africa been Africa? But let me tell you something. Look at what happened to China. Look what happened to Japan. Look what happened to Germany. These countries were gone, obliterated. So one way or another, through a war, through a destruction, through a fight. Look at them. Germany is no longer like on fire like it was in the 40s. It was on fire. It was done. It was gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
China was like everyone's like other or like secret friend, but nobody was. They were building nothing. They were creating nothing. They were innovating nothing. Now look where they're at. Japan was everybody's enemy. They should have been gone off the map. No, because when a government comes together and works together and creates innovation, creativity, supports its local businesses, supports its products that it makes, supports the things that it can create as a government, it can prosper. Just giving them, teaching them how to dig a well. Yeah, you guys may feel good about it. You're helping them dig a well. Great. I know they need it, but that's not everything. Because if they're not creating on their own, innovating on their own, and developing their nation on their own, it's just a handout forever, man. And that may make you feel good. And maybe you feel really good and go, we gave, and we gave, and we gave. Look, you can keep on going to Honduras and give. You haven't changed Honduras a damn bit. You know what changes Honduras? The Honduran that's able to come into this United States, work here, live here, give money back there. They've done more good. They've done more changes. That's all I'm saying, man. I mean, we need to do a lot of things, and I'm not the guy to do it. You know that I don't have the political mind to be able to do it. And like you said, where are we getting to get these people to serve? I don't have the past that allows me to serve, because then all you guys are going to do is focus on, well, let's take them back to high school at 17 years old. It looks like, And I'm going to say, yeah, I did that at 17 years old. You think me at 17 reflects who I am today? Get the hell out of here, man. This is why really good people don't serve in government. Go back and you're going to find that picture. You're going to go back and find that post. You're going to go back and find something about their history that you find deplorable. We have a president in the United States right now that said all kinds of racial stuff, and you guys excused. We had another one that you couldn't find anything good on, but you found a good little piece of tape that was funny as hell, but it was bad in poor taste. He still became president. So but they're outed forever. They're changed forever. Anyway, we have something big happened while we were on the air today. Trinity.
Oh gosh, what happened?
Yeah, good. Richard Coleman. He said, "I'll do it." I agree with you, Richard Coleman. He will one day be in a political office. There he is, Richard Coleman. I'll do it. Good for you, Richard. I hope you do. Executive order. I think there was an executive order written on abortion rights. I'm not really quite sure what it was, but it keeps on.
That happened earlier.
Keeps on flashing. Yeah.
Yeah. It says.
First of all, I remember a few years ago when all we kept hearing when the Crips weren't in power of how the Bloods kept on doing executive orders. They didn't like it. So as soon as they got in office, they got rid of all those executive orders.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Dude,
it looks.
Remember, I'm just a bill, and I live on Capitol Hill.
Wow,
am I the only one remember?
Isn't that Conjunction Junction?
Stupid, yes. Am I the only person that remembers those stupid Saturday morning little comics things of how to pass a law?
Conjunction Junction, man.
Can we, Crips and Bloods, can we stop doing executive orders? Can we start creating laws that we can all just agree on? Nobody wants to take away anyone's rights. Nobody's taking away anyone's rights. We want to create good, solid laws. You know, when
it looks to me like the
executive orders.
Just briefly, the executive order looks like it's basically just making it easier for people to travel out of state for abortions. That's the vibe that I got.
Which is good because, like for years, like if you wanted to gamble, you had to travel to Vegas. It's not like when you came back to your home state, they go, "Hey, did you go to Vegas to gamble? Shame on you because you went to Vegas to gamble." You should be allowed to go to another state, do whatever you want in that state, that the laws are in that state. I 100% believe in that. You should be able to do that. So thank you, Mr. President, for doing something that makes sense. However, you don't just do the executive order and end it there. If you're going to do something like that, you better make it a law. You better make it a federal law because executive order is not law.
Nope.
It's ridiculous, man. We don't learn by history. Why did we learn history in school? Why did we learn history in school?
They're not teaching it anymore.
Oh, that's now I know why. Because that's right. Because it's more important to be just morally good. I just want to feel warm and fuzzy. Because I was bullied when I was a kid, and I just don't want to be bullied. And so I just wanted to not be bullied anymore. Well, those bullies are murdering people these days.
Yeah.
Those same bullies are the ones are the ones murdering people because they're not bullies. The bullies, I've never seen a mass shooting from a bully. Only the bullies are the bully.
Yeah. Oy vey. So, anyway. I'm ready for lunch, man.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
Oy vey, you said a Jewish thing. I like it.
Hey, I'm full of surprises.
Yeah, I'm done too. I got nothing more to say.
Yeah.
Except
I was hoping you missed that one.
Nope, I did not miss it.
I'm going to debate those. I don't remember these things, so if I don't remember, it didn't happen.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep.
That's all I've got, man.
That's all I've got. So you're done. You know, no more. Finally, look. Thanks to everybody that watched on Facebook Live. They watched on what other ways did they watch? YouTube Live, Twitch,
Facebook. You can look us up as Dope and Dharma. And as always, you can comment. We enjoy the comments, man. We try to address them the best we can.
Yeah, we love the comments.
Heck yeah, man.
I love it, man. And look, if you have thoughts for any of our shows, whether it's the Couch Live that we do on Monday nights in relation to addiction and recovery and family issues, or thoughts for Dharma Time, which is a show that focuses on spirituality, philosophy, and Buddhism, or if you have something to talk about here on We the Middle, where we focus on our day-to-day issues from a middle political perspective and middle social perspective, then let us know. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
And the morning after is coming back. Once football starts.
Yeah. Once football season starts, we'll do the morning after where we talk about sports, because to us, sports only means football.
Yeah,
that's a fact, so we'll see if the Pittsburgh Steelers are at the bottom of the heap, like some of you try to say that they are, and let's see if your 49ers are. Does Jimmy G even still have a job with you, or is he
he just got out of surgery
right now with you?
There's been Baker Mayfield's
him and Baker probably call each other. Says, "Oh, Baker left."
No,
see, I missed that
the Panthers. I think he's at the Panthers now.
Okay, I missed that piece of news. All right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So Trinity, nothing? Done?
Nope. That's all I got, man.
So this will be on our YouTube if you want to share it later. I mean, go to follow us on YouTube and make sure you catch up on old shows, catch up on current shows. Dope in Dharma, not dope and Dharma. It's dope in that letter N, Dharma. And if you don't know how to spell Dharma, it's because you went to public school.
Wow.
That's controversial, Trinity. Damn it, where's my voucher? Anyway, adios amigos. It's time for a taco from Dope and Dharma. See ya.